Hi guys, here's a guide on how to get StarCraft 2 to run on 4K at more than 100 and at more than 60 FPS, because apparently there's a guy that has even a 4090, which is better than what I have, and is not able to get above 60 FPS. And I tried a lot of things, and then finally I found out that if you lower the resolution, your frame rate goes up. And there's something that stops StarCraft 2 from fully utilizing the GPU and CPU when you're at 4K. I don't know what it is, but here's the fix. You have to go to search DXVK on GitHub. You can see it here. And then you get the latest version, or you can try the one that I'm using now, 2.4.1. And you download this thing, okay? Then you're gonna get this star.jz thing that you downloaded. You're gonna extract it. Then you get a folder, you're gonna extract the tar, and then you're gonna get this. Then you go in x64 if you're on StarCraft in x64, which I think you should, unless you know better, then you can do that. Every time there's a StarCraft update, it keeps a bunch of versions here in case you want to watch a replay with an old version of StarCraft. And you're usually going to be running with x64. You can check that by opening the file location from Task Manager when you run StarCraft. You're going to want to take the D3 D9.dll and put it in here. I tried this with another game with, I think it was D3 D11, but it didn't work for some reason. So anyway, you're gonna open, actually it's because I didn't create, okay, anyway, let's stay on topic. So in StarCraft, you're gonna wanna create this file here, which you can find in this Reddit thread, how to literally triple your FPS in SC2. Hopefully it doesn't get deleted because of Reddit. So you just copy this, you give a .conf extension to the file, and then there's a bit of a harder part. You have to go in environment variables. So I'm just gonna go to Windows settings, and I think it's DXVK. Whoops. Environment. If I write it right. Okay. You want to go system, not account. I mean, you could try account, but this is what I know works. And then you go to environment variables at the bottom, and then you go to, at the bottom here, system variables. And then you create new, and you type in dxvk config file, like he says here. And then you give it a name to the directory where you put the stuff. I put it in other stuff, Vulkan translator. And it should have the config here. So now you have two things, right? You have this thing done in Windows. You have the D3, D9, DLL in where your StarCraft executable is that you find by doing Task Manager or just taking the last version. And then you have the config file in the directory that you pointed to in environment variables here. So three things, okay? Now what happens is when you fire up StarCraft, and if you have a overlay that shows you the API, like is included by default with AMD, Adrenaline, which is like the, anyway. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, it's showing now. So it shows that it's running in Vulkan. Normally it would show DX9. It's actually a really useful overlay with graphics API because I can play other games and find things like DX10. So that's how it works. And I mean, the fucking main menu was stuck at like 40 FPS or 60 FPS at best. And it would start at really high FPS and then would just drop for no reason. Now it's running fine. I think I might have a FPS limit around 120 because that's the refresh rate I'm running at. Because fucking nobody, everyone's still stuck at DisplayPort 2.1 and HDMI doesn't have as good FreeSync. So I'll just do a game to show you. I'm running on max settings. There's some very rare, like I mean very, very rare graphical glitches. But it just works. So I'm gonna run a game on my potato account. So we're just gonna... Actually, no, I can't, because then you'll see my password. Whoops. Anyway, just trust me, bro, it works, okay? That's the end of the video. You know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the video instead? Is I'm going to try to get this working for, I think it was dive. So we're gonna try dive. Oh no, it was depth. I could have called it dive. Oh well. So I opened the game, and then I figured that, you know, I would look at the API and I would do the same thing, you know, drop the direct D9 DLL. I think this step here should work for everything. I mean, it's just the config file and where it is. I'm going to add more shit here. I'm actually going to create a copy of it just in case. And we're going to kind of just copy this part. And we're going to... So here it's running in DX9 too. Oh, so it should work. But it doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it uses a different... see open file location, and I have the D3, D9 DLL here. It might be an anti-cheat feature. Or maybe it's using depth or no, but it's in the same folder. It should work. So yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work. Maybe there's a run in DX9 setting somewhere that I have on and we could use something else. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, imagine needing a key to spin 180. I'm just being an ass because I've waited years to get a 4K high refresher monitor and like the adoption was just really slow. Which wasn't entirely unreasonable. But the fact of the matter is people are just not interested. You know, and I saw this in the office work where people's eyes are just not as good as mine. Because I think when you go to optometrists, they measure the focus. They don't measure the resolution of your eye. So, some people have terrible resolution. You know, if you have something worse, like you have a disability, it's the world isn't adapted to you. Well, if you have a super ability, it's not adapted either. Alright, so I don't know why it's not working. I thought it was DX10 and then I needed to add something in the config file for DX10, but apparently not. Fucking ended the video.